Well, a very good evening. Is exactly 45 minutes past the hour of past the hour of 8 p.m. Well, I come to you, the usual suspect, with select news in current affairs and all the news that you need to know that has been making rounds throughout the entire day. But before I bring you the details, let's look at the headlines. And of course, I'll be back with more. Top on select news tonight. FDC's Amuriatoboy Patrick promises to restore Teso's lost glory. A scientific campaign, oh bias, to Mkunde's campaigns curtailed. And a key production factor burden to be relieved by Lands Ministry in an effort by government to financially empower young people. And in the world of sports, hard work pains but pays. Chitara FC Hoima's tussle pays off a presidential brand new bus. Well, I welcome you once again, those of you watching us from all our social media platforms. We're streaming live from Buziga here, but also mainstream. You can get us on all the various channels that we are coming to you live straight away with current affairs and select news. Particularly, I will dive into the details of tonight's select news. But before I go into tonight's select news and what I came to unpack for you, I'll take you briefly through the National Resistance Movement Party. That's the NRM, the incumbent President Yoweri Museveni, who is also the presidential candidate for NRM. The Yellow Camp is, as we speak, traversing areas of Lango sub-region, where he's been casting an eye and dissecting issues that have been pressing the country, various sectors. Of course, he did cast an eye on the education sector and how he intends to improve it. That's if he maintains the seat. He did mention that free education was his agenda when he introduced UPE, but as well as UACE. And of course, that agenda was not agreed upon by various dignitaries in government. And of course, that means students had to pay a specific sum of money to see that they can actually acquire an education. But also he did cast an eye on the cost of doing business, but also as well as other factors like agriculture, which are pressing in that particular region. Well, I'll take you briefly through his schedule. Well, he did start on the 9th of November in Uganda, that's the central region, and today, the 11th day, he was in Lango, and on Thursday, the 12th, he will be in West Nile, that is tomorrow, and on Friday, the 13th, he will as well be in West Nile region. It seems the northern region is a hotspot for presidential campaigns, as we do know that the blue camp, that's Patrick Amuriat of FDC, is also in the northern region, but also Robert Kyagulanyi of the red camp is as well in the northern region. That makes it rather a hotspot for the presidential campaigns. Well, I'll take you through what we did package for you tonight on select news straight away. Well, William Komakech, the Kitgum resident district commissioner, blocked National Unity Platform presidential candidate, that is Kyagulanyi Sentamu Robert, aka Bobby Wine, from campaigning in the district, compelling him to proceed to Padel. We'll take a look.
Kyagulanyi's group was first blocked by police to enter Kitgum district for his campaigns. Considering the Electoral Commission's campaign schedule, Kyagulanyi Sentamu Robert, also known as Bobby Wine, was slated to open his campaigns from Kitgum district, but to his astonishment, the RDC and the police denied his access to the venue. Komakech William, the area RDC, claimed Kyagulanyi should hold his campaign in a hotel that was designated for him, situated far away from Kitgum town, something Kyagulanyi refused. While addressing the people of Kitgum, Kyagulanyi cited key point areas to fix, which he apparently asserted are caused by the current government, including sectarianism, a dilapidated public healthcare system, among others. According to Bobby Wine, police in Kitgum first told him that his program in the district was clashing with another presidential candidate's program until he got clearance from the Electoral Commission. Kyagulanyi was swayed to leave Kitgum for Pader, where he is expected to hold a campaign and later conclude with Gulu. Caro Tumwine for Select News.
Well, we do move on from that report, still treading cautiously with the presidential campaigns. FDC's Amuriatoboy Patrick has promised to restore Teso's hope in the education sector, to take back their stolen livestock, among other things. FDC commenced their campaigns from Teso sub-region, where they have so far covered Soroti district, Amuria district, Katakwi district, and Turyagumanawe district. We take a look.
On his third day of presidential campaign trial, Amuriat Boy Patrick continues traversing regions from Soroti to Katakwi. FDC's Amuriat received a warm welcome from the people of Teso, where crowds gathered to cheer him up. He then proceeded to Amuria district for his campaigns, where he made several stopovers speaking to his supporters. At Kamoro Trading Center, FDC's Amuriat Boy Patrick met a youth mobilizer donned in yellow with Minister Cherry's picture, who quit mobilizing for NRM to join the blue camp.
One Uganda, one people, one people. Kelo yalamanyo na icha onape bululu inere bululu itulo iko nitunga arauni bululu yalamanyo.
At Upper Pai Village, Toroma County, Katakwi district, he was welcomed in style with a horseback ride. He further addressed residents of Katakwi in Teso language, where he pledged to restore Teso to its iconic background of great and historic professors. He also promised to protect their rights, including offering assistance in the return of their cattle that were stolen by Karamojongs.
Yes, I touch. Yes, no primary. Yes, no secondary. Konya depari nen around at Shoman na na titai. So akota mo yes akateke. Angara remuna. Oni mami chani upito. Irayona tekerena bonot akateker. Irayona tekerena barit akateker. Irayona tekerena boga akateker.
FDC's campaigns commenced Monday in Teso sub-region, where they have so far covered Soroti district, Amuria district and Turyagumanawe. Those whose manifesto is to be launched in Hoima on the 26th of November project to have covered Teso sub-region this week. Shamira Nagawa, STV Select News.
Well, it's at 360 degrees political coverage here on Ace TV like never before, as we continue to bring you the political campaigns and, of course, the entire political season to the end. Well, moving on from that report, Lieutenant General Henry Tumukunde, retired, has been denied access to the people of Kisoro district by the district police commander, who has expressed dissatisfaction over his timeline. Tumukunde, a presidential candidate, was expected to be in Kisoro district to hold a political campaign in Kisoro. Well, he did not fulfill this expectation as per the Electoral Commission's schedule. Well, according to the DPC, Tumukunde was meant to be in Kisoro but failed, attributing it to the bad weather. We'll take a look.
On his way to Kisoro, Tumukunde was stopped at Kanaba police checkpoint, where police told him that he could not stop in Kisoro because it was not stated in his campaign roadmap for the day. However, according to the general, the bad weather coupled with bad roads in Rukungiri and Kanungu district led to his delay.
The entry into Kisoro, you know very well, the terrain between Kanungu and Kisoro is not very good, so we lost time yesterday. All these I know are just inconveniences to stop us from reaching the people. So Ugandans should know that from day one, there is no free and fair election. Emumanyi nti ennaku ntonotono, obudde butonotono, ate n'enguudo si z'ennungi eziri awo. So guno mupango gwakutugaana kutuuka mu bantu, badde mbasaba bannayuganda bamanye nga tetunagenda wala. Tewaliwo bululu buli awo nga buyina omulembe gumu. Abamu babayamba, abalala bataza.
While in Rukungiri, General Tumukunde preached the gospel of forgiveness. Speaking to voters, Tumukunde said plans to select a joint opposition candidate had not been abandoned yet and urged the voters to support whoever was chosen. Husna Afet, Sarah Nakandi, Select News.
Well, we continue to bring you all the details in current affairs, but at a very critical position that the country does stand in a campaign period, but an electoral season like this. It's very important that you keep yourself informed and updated over what is transpiring in your country generally, whether it is a scientific campaign like stated by the Ministry of Health, but also the security personnel, the Uganda Police and UPDF in particular. Well, I'll be moving on to the COVID-19 updates and how Uganda is performing in terms of numbers as per the pandemic is concerned at a time like this when various political aspirants are campaigning. They're traversing the entire country to see that they garner support. How do we stand as far as COVID-19 is concerned? If you look there on the chart that we do avail on your screen there, it does indicate that yesterday on the 10th day of the month of November 2020, 289 new cases were registered by the Ministry of Health in Uganda, and the cumulative confirmed cases in Uganda stood at 14,993, and the cumulative total number of deaths as of to yesterday stood at 139, with 6 new deaths that were registered, where the cumulative recoveries do stand or stood at 7,939. Of course, we do expect a new updation from the Ministry of Health of those figures as of today. The new numbers that they did register today, we shall be expecting those numbers to be emerging tomorrow, where the total COVID-19 samples that have been tested as per yesterday stood at 577,630. Well, at STV, we do encourage you to keep observing the SOPs, wash those hands, and make sure that you wear that mask. Keep the social distance every time you move into community areas or any social places to make sure that you stay safe, but you also keep your neighbors safe, your family safe, your associates safe, your co-workers, name it, whoever that you do come close to. It's very important that you protect them, but as well as you do protect yourself. And those are the SOPs and the guidelines that the Ministry of Health and government in general have put in place to safeguard Ugandans. Well, Select News will take a short break and we'll return shortly afterwards. Stay with us.
Watching STV, select for fun.
Once step into the country and you will know Uganda is a magical destination. Perfect description of nature reflected on its natural way of life. But beyond the description is much more for you to discover. The culture, the religions, the wildlife, the nature, and oh, don't forget the food. I'm going to give you an exciting adventure discovering the hidden beauty in your country. Travel on Trek with me, Genesis, as I give you an essential guide to whatever or wherever it is that you want to visit. Catch me every Friday at 9:30 only on STV.
Hey guys, you're watching STV. Select for fun.
Thank you very much for keeping it STV and particularly Select News. And of course, I do continue to give you more that I came to unpack for you tonight. On Select News, government through the Ministry of Lands has announced a plan to invest in youth by purchasing land for them to practice agriculture and other income-generating activities as a financial empowerment scheme. The main factor of production remains land, hence prioritizing it.
So I think the challenge of land eviction has been on miscoordination.
The State Minister of Lands, Persis Namuganza, has noted that land is one of the most challenging problems in Uganda.
Some of the challenges we have as a country right now is about land not being enough. Also, greed of those who have, but they keep acquiring more and more and more, which leads into land grabbing.
On land eviction matters, Namuganza said that the ministry is planning to put new strict guidelines to regulate such incidents.
Yes, the laws are in place where no one is supposed to evict a chibanja holder. Because we cannot have say that we have a deficit of laws, no. But there has been lack of cooperation in terms of operation in regard to protection and following the laws, is to design the guidelines on addition to what the courts of law put there. Remember that His Excellency directed the courts of law and the Chief Justice, the emeritus, the one who was there, and issued the guidelines of eviction. Don't evict before you issue a 6-month notice.
Addressing the issue of recent leadership saga in Chiseka Market, Namuganza warned whoever was planning to steal the land to desist from doing so, or else face the wrath of the law.
Poor market Chiseka people, majority genuine ones, have been left out. They started telling them that they should buy Mdala, the stores, from that thing. I don't know, they said how much? 10 million? Now, do you expect someone who sells wheel cover to have even a capital of 5 million? They couldn't buy. So they said whoever wants buys there. Now, we stopped them from occupying the remaining part of the land. And then the president said, that's why I told those people to build for them a market, so that for them they just enter the market and pay very little fee, or 5,000, actually he said 10,000. That is to help KCCA clean up and what?
As is stated in the NRM manifesto, the government has a budget of 1.7 trillion meant to pay off absentee landlords. Hasif Sechunga, Sarah Nakandi for STV.
Well, whoever has lived outside the Pearl of Africa, and I'm talking about Uganda, knows how scarce fresh fish can be when you want a dish from the waters like that. Or even if you've lived in Uganda but in places that are far away from water bodies, you know how important it is to look for fresh fish and how important that dish is. And of course, this does resonate with my next story moving forward. Well, the Commissioner in the Ministry of Fisheries, Joyce Nyeko, said this year's Day of Fisheries will be celebrated on the 21st day of November 2020 in Uganda. This was revealed in a press address at the Uganda Media Center, UMC.
While addressing journalists, Commissioner from the Ministry of Fisheries, Joyce Nyeko, said Uganda shall join the rest of the world to celebrate this day in Bugiri district.
The World Fisheries National Celebrations in Bugiri District Local Government. Today we are privileged to be joined by the Chief Administrative Officer of Bugiri, Mr. Geoffrey Wanyama,
The Deputy Chief Administrative Officer of Bugiri District, Wanyama Geoffrey, said there will be a training session on how to add value on the fish.
We want to enlist the knowledge of the students in as far as fishers are concerned, as far as the fisheries department is concerned. You know, when you are still studying, some of these components come in as small subjects. So we want to test and see what is the knowledge base of our students in as far as the fisheries section is concerned. Are they aware of what is happening in fisheries? Are they aware of how much income the fisheries sector is fetching for Uganda?
In the conflict between the UPDF Marine Forces and the fishermen, Wanyama said they set up a special committee to intermediate them to put an end on these conflicts.
N'olukiiko lwe stakeholders dialogue naye ngeri ku mutendera gwa district nga mu ekyo tusuubirwa okuleeta abantu abakola mu bintu ebyennyanja ab'ebitongole ebyenjawulo. Tujja kwaniriza aba ministry, tujja kwaniriza aba UPDF, tujja kwaniriza aba partners abali mu mbeera y'okulaba nti ebyennyanja bitambula bulungi. Tusobole okuba n'okusharinga n'okubaganya ebirowoozo kuki ekiruma buli munnayuganda ali mu kiti kye.
In the same way, he said they are planning to move a motion in Parliament that seeks to reduce a bill that shall promote fishing in Uganda.
Etteeka ly'embagamba erijja kugenda mu Parliament bwe liba liyiseemu lyogera bulungi buli omu kyalina okukola n'omuntu owa bulijjo kyalina okukola okulaba nti ebikwatiganye ne kulwanyisa envuba mbi bitambula bulungi nga tewali kulwanagana.
Carol Tumwine, Edith Nabagereka for Select News.
Well, we did move into our business segment early tonight with that story on fisheries ushering us into our business segment. Well, I do move on to more business stories tonight on Select News. British oil explorer Tullow Oil has announced the end of its 16 years of existence in the Ugandan oil and gas market after it completed the sale of its assets in Uganda to French oil giant Total E&P in a deal worth $575 million.
Lead British oil explorer Tullow Oil has announced the end of its 16 years of existence in the Ugandan oil market after it completed the sale of its assets in Uganda to French oil giants Total in a deal worth $575 million. Tullow Oil explained that $500 million was received today, while it is also due to receive a further $75 million when a final investment decision is taken on the development project, plus contingent payments linked to the oil price payable after production commences. The oil company had accumulated $2.8 billion of debt in Uganda, hence the government's okay in October for it to sell all its stake in to Total as part of its efforts to raise $1 billion this year to reduce its debt. The deal means Tullow's interests and operatorship for Block 2 will be transferred to Total. Tullow also says it will retain a financial link to the development project through potential contingent payments. The closing of this transaction marks Tullow's exit from its licenses in Uganda after 16 years of operations in the Lake Albert Basin. Tullow's CEO Rahul Dil said Tullow will watch the progress of Uganda's oil and gas industry with interest and that they wish all of us, the people and government of Uganda and their former joint venture partners, a good fortune as they take the project forward. Tini Rukabwe, STV Select Business News.
Thank you very much for sticking with STV. Well, we shall take a very short break and of course we'll return with what is happening in the world of sports. Stay with us.
guys, you're watching STV. Select for fun.
Ensonga nnyingi eziruma bannayuganda omuli ebyobufuzi, ebyenjigiriza, enkulaakulana ssaako n'obuweereza bw'abakulembeze. Wano ku STV ensonga zino zitukwatako. Twegatteko buli lwassande okuva ku ssaawa 12:45 okutuuka ku ssaawa 1:30 ez'ekawungeezi mu pulogulaamu Nzenga bwe ndaba, nga tukubaganya ebirowoozo ku biri mu ggwanga ssaako n'okutuusa eddoboozi lyaffe eri abo bekikwatako. Wano ku STV nange Hasif Ssekiwunga.
Hey guys, you're watching STV. Select for fun.
Whether you are a rugby fan, a boxing fan, or a soccer fan, this is your segment that is specifically dedicated to you. Well, we bring you the details in the world of sports with our first story on Select Sport being the President of the Republic of Uganda has rewarded Chitara FC from Hoima a gift of a brand new bus for their recent triumph in the big league. We take a look.
His Excellence President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has fulfilled his pledge towards Bunyoro-based club Chitara Football FC with a gift of a bus. The newly promoted side to the Uganda Premier League received the 40-seater monster vehicle bus of Tata brand number plate UBH 526T in a ceremony at Kontik Hotel in Hoima district, which was officially handed over to the club management. Mr. Joshua Atugonza, the CEO of the football club, voiced his need for all potential corporate sponsors to come on board for bus branding partnership to boost the club finances.
Ina challenges nyingi kyonka tukwenda kisimbira mukama na president nti
he also said they are open to listening to companies to use their bus as a branding as a way of income generation for the football club.
Challenge because tula paperwork ya licensing but kimuha nsonga isikyatulemeseze kutuha license yokusamba mu league sporting tukagenda but kana ati requirements ezindi kitwina kisaye kiri amutindo ku costing empira.
The bus was handed over to the club by Mr. Ernest Chiza, the Member of Parliament for Bunyoro Affairs, on behalf of President Museveni, who requested Bunyoro people to continue supporting government and that the President at large, because he is the one who knows the problems of Bunyoro.
Omugonzi wa President Museveni waraganiza ahikiriza kandi kwena mutero mu ngaro ntagokuba atwereze basi kandi yakusaba tumungere kumusima turamusima tuta tujja kumusimisa karuru mu box.
The guest of honor was RDC of Hoima, Mr. Samuel Kisembo, who appealed to the people of Bunyoro and Hoima to always focus on good leaders like President Museveni, who fulfills his promises.
Pledges of Zikorwa in the whole country. Can Parliament niyehereza umukirisa President esindi is fulfilling presidential pledge.
On the same ceremony, some Bunyoro leaders had good words for this good humanitarian work by the President, such as Jonad Asimwe, the Member of Parliament for Hoima East, Dr. Joseph Ruyonga, Member of Parliament for Hoima West, Brian Kaboyo, Hoima City Mayor, and others who appreciated the president for supporting Chitara Football Club and Bunyoro at large.
From Bunyoro and people in diaspora who love our team, please to be there, because this is our pride. Without this, there is nothing which we are going to enjoy ourselves. Some of us will love soccer, and with soccer, things are better. Stress goes. It is very unfortunate that we keep supporting Manchester, you keep supporting Arsenal, that even you can buy anything regarding with other teams, but our own, we don't.
It should be noted that Chitara FC beat Chiboga Young 1-0 to join the Uganda Premier League, which starts in December. Turyagumanawe, STV Select Sports.
In sports, Wade van Niekerk continued his comeback from a serious knee injury that he did sustain by winning a 60-meter sprint event. Van Niekerk won a 400-meter event in 45.89 seconds, but took to Twitter after the race to say that he wasn't satisfied by his time. We'll take a look.
Wade van Niekerk continued his comeback from a serious knee injury by winning a 60-meter sprint event in Potchefstroom. Since his return to the track, Van Niekerk has focused mainly on 400 meters events, but has said that he will also be running in shorter races. Last night, he sprinted to victory in an official time of 6.62 seconds. Last week, Van Niekerk won a 400 meters event in 45.89 seconds, but took to Twitter after the race to say that he wasn't satisfied with his time. In April this year, he told the Olympic Channel that he hoped to run below 43 seconds in the 400 meters. Turyagumanawe, STV Select Sports News.
Let's show him our appreciation. Let's show him some love. You are a star.
Well, at Ace TV, we do appreciate your wonderful viewership. And of course, you've been an amazing viewer of Select News particularly. And I do encourage you to continue watching. Well, if I could give you a hug through your screen, I could probably do that. But unfortunately, I'm not able to do that. But only to say good night. And Select News comes to a closure right about now. Bless.